Good. Okay, Darren, so mistakes obviously a big part of the defeat, weren't they, at Sutton? How do you go about cutting out those mistakes from individual players?
It depends how regular that occurrence is, doesn't it? I mean, if that occurrence is too often and you leave them out, don't you? You drop them because we go out to win games, not lose. So it's that's one way. But I thought it was. The first goal in particular, there was too many things that we work on the training pitch that ensure that we alleviate those errors that we didn't take in certain moments. That was disappointing thing. I don't think the obvious error or obvious individual or candidate for the mistake is actually the one who makes the mistake, but you would only know that if you watched us train every day. So there are a couple of things prior to Max, for example, giving the ball away that I thought we should have done better, and that we actually practiced, because I've always been someone who wants to play out the back, but I want to play out the back not to the detriment of opening up your own goal. So I don't think it happens too often with us, and it was an honest error. But like I said, from how we practiced, there were things. There were elements of that passage that we missed, other players missed, that would have meant that Max wasn't put in that position. So I actually think Max was quite shocked to be given the ball. So I don't think it's as clear as what I probably know from obviously being the one that orchestrates the work we do. But hey ho, we have to move on, and the second goal is just is really unfortunate, and I thought we played really well. I actually came out of the ground disappointed we'd lost, but I think we're really close. I think we're so close to having a really great side, and it's not as obvious this year as last year, and that's because we had so many established players and so much more game know-how last year than we had this year. But I think we're really close with this group to having a really good side.
And you're still 3 points off the playoffs as well, which is nice, isn't it? But is it equally frustrating given the start you had, given I guess from a thinking along the lines of what might have been?
I think it's frustrating if the performance is frustrating, but we made so many chances. I mean, so many chances. Worthy had 2 brilliant chances. Albie had a good chance. Murphy had a great chance first half where he got his touch wrong. So we made Knowlesy cut inside in the box second half. We had a good chance from that. Ruben had a good chance from a header from the cross from Nerfield. We made 5 or 6 really good chances. I thought we were the better team. I really did. I thought we made the best chances. I thought they probably had us first half in terms of territory in particular, but certainly not possession, but territory definitely. And I thought second half we were very dominant. Maybe last 15-20 minutes we showed an element of fatigue, but no, I was encouraged. It's probably the best use of word to explain, because look, I took a really experienced side there last year and we got beat 3-2, and I thought we were useless, absolutely useless. But I was really pleased with us. I was really pleased with our performance Tuesday.
Yeah, and Woking are next up. What sort of a game are you expecting on Saturday?
Tight, always tight. Really, they're very disciplined. They've got good experience in the side. Always tight games. These games, really tight games. So I'm expecting another one.
Yeah, they're obviously a tough side to be looking at their goal difference. They're 18th in the table, but they're they've got a positive goal difference, doesn't they? That would obviously tell us anyway that they'd appear to be a difficult side to beat.
Yeah, absolutely. Alan does brilliant, absolutely brilliant with them. And they've had the new investment, which will give the club a big boost, a big shot. He does brilliant now. So they're always tough sides. We always have tough games with them. It's always highly competitive. They missed a penalty in the away game. We missed a penalty with Murphy. Always really close games.
And on one draw in November, do you look at that? Will you use that as a reference going into the game at the weekend?
Sorry, I didn't hear that. What did you say?
The draw we had with them, we drew with them 1-1 in November. Will you use that as a reference point at all?
Well, I think we've made huge changes. I'm just trying to count while I'm talking. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we've got maybe 5 changes to the team since then. They're pretty similar, and maybe 1 or 2 changes to the Woking team, but I would say we've gone through a bigger transformation in terms of players than Woking. So, you know, in terms of looking at them, absolutely. You know, you can always use hindsight to your advantage and your knowledge base of the opposing coach and the opposing players. But you know, we have to go down the tunnel, and this is the toughest thing at the minute. We have to go down the tunnel with as fresh a mindset as possible. No fatigue, no mental fatigue, no physical fatigue. It's about flying out that tunnel and starting really, really fast and going after that first goal.
Yeah, well, good luck for the weekend, Darren. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
Well, Gaffer, we perhaps shouldn't have said, I love it when a plan comes together.
Yeah.
That was a fake waiting to happen, wasn't it?
Nah, it's fine, mate.
You know, but you seem to have had a lot of away games in a row now. I mean, you must be looking forward to coming home again. I know no supporters still, but at least you're going to no travelling from that point of view, so that should help, shouldn't it?
You know, I know everyone will know this feeling. You know when you go on holiday and you start and you obviously get ready to go on holiday and you start by getting in your car and you travel to the airport and then you go through that really long elongated process of customs and the checks and things like that, and then you get into the departure lounge and then you sit there for, I don't know, an hour, half an hour, sometimes 5 hours. Then you get on the plane, which takes ages to queue and board. Then you sit on the plane for another half an hour, 40 minutes before it actually starts moving, and then you got the journey. And by the time you get to your destination, you're knackered. Well, that's how I feel after our away trips. But we've done 2 of them. But the whole process, everything, that's how I feel. I'm just telling you how I'm not speaking on behalf of the players. And you get off the plane and your body feels drained. You've been sat in a certain fixed position for a while, and this is just how I feel. So I don't, the players, I commend the players for their physical effort in the last couple of away games. We've not been certainly in the Chesterfield game. We haven't been good enough in that one. I thought we played really, really well Tuesday night. I've got no problem with Tuesday night. And if we're going to lose a game, we lose a game throwing every punch that's within us, and we try our very, very hardest. And I felt we did that Tuesday. And like I said, I came away thinking we're so close. We're so close. It's been a long process this year. Last year, if you look, and you can only do this once you're doing what we're doing now, but everything was instant last year. So the players were instant, solutions to a problem. Craig Alcott was an instant solution to the right back problem. Lee Collins and Luke Wilkinson, instant solutions. None of them were developmental. Mark Richards, instant. I need a hold-up man, instant. So it's a really different team, but I think they're on the verge of something really great. I love watching them play. I really love watching them play. I love Nerthal and Knowles and Worthington at full tilt. I like Skendi at full tilt, even though he could be better at that. It's a really Alex Bradley. I love seeing this process they're going through, and you got to be patient. You got to be patient with it. But I feel like we're as close as we've been this season to having that really, really top side that can really sort of elongate periods of good results, and that's down to their bravery, their courage, their work ethic. It's been insatiable. So I'm quite enthused about it. I'm really looking forward to Saturday. I can't wait to be back at home because our pitch is better than most. Even though it's not great, it's still better than most. And even though you talk about the fans not being there, to me, we're working for them to be there. And the longer I can make this season go on for, the more chance I've got of getting everyone back in this ground and shouting and being really intimidating and really sticking it on the opponent, which we were great at, and has a massive effect when you're playing at Jewish Park. So, I know they're not here now, but it's a huge motivation of ours to get them back in. It's huge.
You think though that this, I wouldn't say it's an obsession, but people say, "Oh, you're only 3 points away from the playoffs." Well, yeah, that's fine, but it's not a question of getting into the playoffs. First of all, you've got to stay in the playoffs, which is important. And really, I'm guessing you're aiming for higher than the playoffs at the end of the day.
I just win every game. The only happiness I have in my life is winning. Sounds bad. No. I love being with my family. But I love being with my family even more when I've won the day previously, because I'm clear-minded, and they get 90% dad. When I lose, they get probably 60% dad, and that's not great. So, but it's the only thing that salvation at 5 o'clock age when you get the final whistle and you've won a game. It is the best feeling in the world. I mean, it is. It's an amazing. I'll never get bored of it. And flip that when you get the final whistle and you've been beat, and it's the worst feeling. It's horrible. You feel. I do. I take it really bad. I don't take it as badly as I used to, but I certainly do take it still very much to heart and personally. So it's it is one of those things. But we're like I said, I'm really excited about the group. Really excited about where they're going. Really, I feel like we found that almost, and this can come across wrong, especially if players are listening, but I'm going to say it anyway because I don't care. We found kind of that 11, 12, 13, 14 players that is kind of our best configuration or our most balanced configuration, and I like getting to that point because it gives you a consistency. Then it gives you a balance to what you want to do. Even if you make changes, you've always got certain foundations in your side. And I feel like we're getting closer with that. I feel like we're getting really closer with that, where I can make maybe 2 or 3 changes a game and not affect the outcome. And that only comes from working with the players and developing them and trying to be a better team. But I think it's really, the last 18 games, we've set it up for a real sprint finish, haven't we? And we could go wrong, we could get it wrong, we could get it really right. And that's why I keep using that snakes and ladders kind of analogy of, if you roll the dice right one weekend, you can end up climbing the ladder really well or really quickly. You roll it wrong, like we did last Saturday in particular. We rolled the dice really poorly, and we slipped back down the snake. So, but it's exciting. We're in and around it. We've got ourselves in a fighting position. We're still in the fight, and until I'm out of it, we'll be swinging.
You talk about reaching a sort of the best squad that you feel you can get for the moment. Certainly. What are the chances of, because obviously some of them are on loan, what are the chances of keeping the squad together for next season?
Well, I don't know. That's that's a long way away. One of the things we've done really well previously to me as well, by the way, when Terry was manager and even Daz and Gaz and Gary and people like that, is that this club has been a very good platform for young players to create a portfolio or a CV for himself, and sometimes that's been to our detriment. I wanted Romeo Hutton back this year, but because he did such a great job and we did such a great job with him, he was able to step into the Football League. Now he's probably not played in the last 8 or 9 games in the Football League, but because we've set him up appropriately and done the right thing, he's had those opportunities. There will be loan players that are in that kind of position as well. Josh Nerfield's done unbelievable. He's never had a period in his career like what he's having with us, and sometimes that almost prices, and I say price, it's a metaphor, but it kind of prices you out of the market, and they and then you elevate them to another level. But I don't know what will happen. I'm trying to work out who we've got on loan. Kelly, Smith, Nerfield, Warburton. Who else? Who's the 5th one?
Really?
And Bill, yeah. It's easy to forget Bill, he never says anything to me. But the answer is I don't know, but like I said, sometimes they do so well, you elevate them, We did it at Stevenage with Luke Amos. He was absolutely going nowhere at Tottenham because of the senior players ahead of him. He came and played with us, and he ended up starting the following season in the Premier League for Tottenham, and now has played a bucket loads of games in the Championship with QPR. Sometimes they just hit the ground running. It's a bit of luck, a bit of fortune, a bit of coaching, It can be all those things mixed in together. It can be the environment, the timing, and there is no science to this recruitment malark. If there was science to it, then we'd all follow the same formula and method and get it right all the time. But sometimes a large dose of it is timing and opportunity, and you know we've done really well with that. In with Romeo, and we're doing it now with Josh in particular. I'd probably say. And
what's the injury situation like with Matty Worthington and Luke Wilkinson and
really promising news for Matthew. Matthew's. We don't know whether to laugh at him or whack him around the head, because he seems to have recovered quite quickly.
That's good.
And that's the thing with young players, they don't know their bodies. We talk about Charlie Lee always being fit and not worrying about anything, but Charlie knows his body. He's been injured thousands of times a week over the last 13-14 years of his career, and Matty probably didn't realise what he'd done. Now we still try it with trial and error with him. We're still testing him all the time, but we think he might have a chance for the weekend in whatever shape. A bit like Nerfield on Tuesday night, or to be fully available. But we'll have to see over the next 48 hours. Wilkinson's closer and closer. I would expect him by April to be available for selection. I don't think it'll be before April, but I think April will be his time. And the rest really, they're just some are still rehabbing and getting fit, and some of them are out like Staunton and Diath.